Hello and welcome. This is our video lesson presentation in EPP 6. Our topic, perform systematic and scientific ways of caring orchard trees or seedling. And we have our lesson objectives. Identify systematic and scientific ways of caring orchard trees and seedlings. Explain the importance of planting trees and fruit-bearing trees to every household. Perform systematic and scientific ways of caring orchard trees and seedlings. Kids, I have something to share with you. Some words to ponder. We reap what we sow. What are you sowing? Kids, always remember this. If you want kindness, be kind. If you want friends, be friendly. If you want help, be helpful. If you want love, be loving. If you want respect, respect yourself. You will most often get more of the things that matter in life by giving them first than you ever will by trying desperately to get them or asking for them. So, kids, always remember this. This time, let's proceed. Planting requires not only effort but also dedication. It is not overnight process, but a lengthy and time-consuming endeavor which is greatly dependent on strictly observing the essential elements that make planting and of fruit-bearing trees and growing of its seedlings successful. It doesn't take a green thumb to grow plants. Anyone can plant. You could be one. Would you like to learn how to become a successful planter? Well, you are in the right track, for this lesson will help you become one. But before anything else, let's have first a recap. Kids, I want you to prepare your activity notebook and your pen. To answer, numbered please it from 1 to 10. You are going to write your answer directly. To choose the letter of the correct answer, write it on your answer sheet. Are you ready, kids? Okay, for number 1, known as man's source of food. Take a pick. Is it clouds, trees, sky, or soil? 2, gas that plants give off. A, oxygen, B, carbon dioxide, C, helium, D, carbon monoxide. For 3, the gas needed by man to live. A, oxygen, B, carbon dioxide, C, helium, or D, carbon monoxide. Number 4, a chemical derived from trees. A, resin, B, fiber, C, sugar, or D, ryan. Number 5, the process of planting new trees in place of whole old ones that have been cut down. A, deforestation, B, isolation, C, reforestation, D, resolution. So let's check. Number 1, you have trees. Did you get it right? 2, oxygen. 3, same, A, oxygen. Number 4, it's resin. Number 5, it's called reforestation. Now let's proceed to number 6 to 10. 6, plants need the following in order to grow healthy except 1, sunlight, B, oxygen, C, water, D, plot. Write the letter of your answer. 7, it is all right to cut trees for as long as it is replenished. The statement is A, true, B, false, C, partly correct, or D, partly false. Number 8, massive cutting of trees is known as A, deforestation, B, reforestation, C, isolation, or D, resolution. Number 9. Forests are considered as a lungs of the earth. The statement is A. True, B. False, C. Partly correct, or D. Partly false. 10. The gas that man gives off that is needed by plants is A. Carbon, B. Carbon monoxide, C. Carbon dioxide, or D. Carbon footprint. So let's check again. Number 6, oxygen, because plant will give us off oxygen. 7, it is partly correct. 8, yes, deforestation. 9, you have, it's a true. And number 10, it is carbon dioxide. What was your score, kids? Did you get 10? Well, good. Let's have another one. Take this test to find out how much you knew from the previous lesson. True or false? On your answer sheet, you're going to write T if the statement is true and F if the statement is false. Clear? Then let's begin with number 1. Kids, by the way, you are going to write your answer right away because we are going to check one by one at a time, I mean. Number 1, trees are 1 month's source of food. Is it T or F? What do you think? It is? Yes, it's T. It's true. Number 2, trees give off carbon dioxide. Answer? False. Because trees give off oxygen. 3, man needs carbon dioxide to live. Is that so? Answer? Definitely false because man needs oxygen. 4, resin is the chemical derived from trees. True or false? T or F? Answer. It is true. 5, too many trees cause pollution. Oh, is the statement true or false? Answer, definitely false again, because trees can lessen pollution. Let's have number 6. A healthy environment is an environment filled of healthy growing trees. What do you think? So your answer is yes, true. 7, it is okay to cut trees for as long as they are replenished. Yes, it's partly true. 8, reforestation is the process of planting new trees in place of old ones that have been cut down. Your answer? It's true. When trees slow down the speed of typhoon, they act as windbreakers. You still recall our previous lessons? I hope so. So our answer is true, correct. 10. Roots of trees hold the soil and water, thus preventing soil erosion and flood. Answer? Very good. It's B. It's true. So write your score. You get 10. Well and done. Let's have an orchard king. This time, you are going to unscramble the letters that reveal the name of the tree shown in each picture. Write your answer on your activity notebook. So you are going to number your activity notebook from 1 to 5. You are going to name trees, the name of trees shown in the picture. But of course, you are going to unscramble the letters to have the correct answer. Let's start with number 1. Okay. What is the name of this fruit-bearing tree? You're going to unscramble Sita. Write your answer. It is Attis. Number two. How about this? Is this anaban? So you have to unscramble anaban. What is the name, the correct name of this tree? This is banana. Let's proceed. Number three. Oh, it's very delicious. And it is tokonoko. Scramble these letters. And to have the correct answer, which is coconut. Next. Oh, so yummy. A guava. Mm-hmm. What fruit is this? This is guava. And the last, okay, it's payapa. Peaceful. Payapa. And the three is papaya. There you have it. Are you having fun, kids? I hope so. I'm hoping so much. So let's proceed. Oh, see how happy the tree is in the park? So to maintain the happiness of the plants, trees, the flowers around this area, you have to learn everything as we go along. So please fasten your seatbelt and let's start to fly. To implement systematic planting, there is a need to prepare a blueprint or a diagram. Remember, a blueprint or a diagram on paper showing how fruit tree seedlings are laid out on the orchard garden. As a rule, the space between trees depends on the height and breadth when they grow to maturity. Trees like coconuts grow tall and slim, and they may be planted close to each other. Trees that grow short but spread out intensely, like mangoes and pomelos, should have more space in between. This is very much needed to learn. Methods of planting. So one, you have direct seedling or direct planting. Is the sowing of seeds directly in the soil, bypassing the need for nurseries and irrigation. This fulfills two goals the farmers have in mind, namely to produce food and to do this economically by conserving water and nutrients, etc. Direct planting is a method of planting where the seeds or plants of parts of the plants are directly planted in the soil where they will germinate and become full-grown trees. Okay, this is it. This is direct planting. And let's proceed to the second. Indirect planting is practical among plants with small seeds such as cabbage, pichay, mustard, tomato, eggplants, and spinach. They are sown in seed boxes or seed beds in rows to produce seedlings which are then transplanted into the field. As soon as seedlings have grown 3 or more leaves, they are now ready for transplanting. Indirect planting, indirect planting, the plants needs to be transferred to its permanent place. So this is how nursery look like. So nursery, this is it. You're going to let the seedlings grow first before you transplant it to the field. Now we have proper care of seedlings when transplanting. This is very important also. One, you have to place the seedlings away from direct sunlight. Make sure that the seedlings are healthy and watered first before planting. Two, dig the area where you want to plant them. The length and depth of the hole should be according to how big the trees will become. For big trees like santal, mango, avocado, and more, the hole size is 12 inches wide and 12 inches deep. For small trees like atis, guava, guyabano, etc., The hole may be made smaller, but for proper and healthy growth and development of the plant, it is advisable to stick to the recommended size. Leave 2 inches allowance in the length and depth of the hole to allow the new roots to breathe. 3. Gently remove the seedling bag, making sure not to crush the soil when holds the root, which holds the roots. 4. Slowly and carefully place the seedlings into the hole, but before doing so, make sure to layer first the bottom of the hole with topsoil or loam soil about 2 inches thick to provide food and nutrients to the young plants to grow healthy. 5. Tenderly cover the hole with soil, ensuring it is not filled to the brim or leave about an inch to the surface level. This is done to make sure that good amount of water is stored during watering procedure. Then, lightly press the hip to compress loose soil. 6. Water the new plant regularly and most desirably early in the morning. For better result, use water sprinkler, even an improvised one. Be sure to water the entire ground surrounding the young plant. 7. Plant seedlings late in the afternoon as the sunlight is not too hot to affect the young plant and thus avoid the cause of withering. Before planting, there are different ways to prepare of preparing seeds. One is to dry the seeds under the sun, and the other is to soak them in water. Now, seedling preparation before transplanting. You need thinning. Second, pricking. Third, hardening. And the method of transplanting plants. You have dibbling method, cone-shaped method, stip method, side of the hole method, hole digging method. Now let's have caring of transplanted seedlings. 1. Watering. 2. Cultivating. 3. Applying fertilizer. And we have the types of fertilizers. First, organic fertilizers come from decomposed organic matter including animal manures, kitchen waste or food scraps, plant residues, and other organic waste. Organic fertilizers contain a high percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, which are necessary elements for growth of plants. We have benefits of using organic fertilizers. 1. It is environment friendly. It does not harm the soil, unlike inorganic fertilizer, which can be toxic if applied in excess to the soil. 2. It fertilizes the soil and improves its structure and fertility. 3. It is inexpensive. 4. It is safe to use. How to make organic fertilizer? So organic fertilizer can be made through composting. Composting is a process of decomposing organic matter such as weeds, manure, grasses, leaves, vines, rice hulls, and corn stalks until they are ready to be used as fertilizers. Ways of preparing compost. 1. You have to dig a compost pit, usually at the back of the yard. 2. Build a shelter to protect the pile from the rain, measuring at least 2 meters by 3 or 4 meters. An alternative to building a shelter is to cover the pile with plastic sheets. 3. Gather and prepare all compost materials. 4. Pile a layer of grass about 12 to 15 centimeters thick to cover the area. 5. Level the area. 6. Mix other layers similar to the first 2 layers until the pile reaches 1.5 meters. 7. Sprinkle the pile with water as often as needed to keep it moist. 8. Cover the top pile with banana leaves. 9. Provide breathers in the middle of the pile using bamboo poles with holes. The breather allows cool air to come in at the same time vent off excess heat generated from the intense metabolic or activity or decomposition process at the core of the pile. And 10. Compost will be ready after 3 months. Now let's talk about inorganic fertilizer. Come from nitrates of soda, sulfate of ammonia, ammonium nitrate, urea, and others. These are commonly known as the commercial fertilizers. The nutrients in organic fertilizers are not always properly balanced, as that is why sometimes inorganic fertilizer is needed to make up for the deficiencies. However, one should never use commercial fertilizer more than the amount recommended. The right time to apply fertilizer depends on the kind of crop. Always observing the right period in applying fertilizers help to ensure proper growth and good health of plants. Fertilizers sustain the plants with the nutrients from the soil. Now let's talk about the different ways to applying fertilizers to the crop. We have broadcasting. These techniques simply scatter the fertilizer uniformly in the soil, but for best result, incorporate it into the soil. This can be done by hand or with the use of mechanic spreaders. Okay, so this is broadcasting. So see, the farmers just spread out or scatter the fertilizers. Number 2, this is the band or localize. Okay, see? In this technique, the fertilizer is placed in the soil mass where the seeds or seedlings are to be planted. This can be done by hand or with special equipment, as shown in the picture. And the third is the side dressing. This is applying fertilizer on the soil growing around the plant. You say that the fertilizer is just on the side of the plants or the crops. And last, you have the foliar application. The fertilizer is dissolved in water and applied by spraying the right amount. The fertilizer should be sprayed thoroughly on the leaves or the foliage of the plants rather than on the soil. Okay, so this is it. So we have sources of fruit-bearing trees. There are many sources from which we get seeds of young fruit-bearing trees. First among the list of legitimate sources is the Bureau of Plant Industry of the Department of Agriculture. The Bureau gives free fruit-bearing tree seedlings, leaflets, and other printed materials that will help fruit tree growers in their business. Other government agencies include the Department of Agriculture of municipalities and city governments, which also give free fruit tree seedlings as well as seminars on more recent technology in tree planting and growing. Private nurseries usually found in areas of some cities are another source of wherein high-value fruit tree seedlings can be bought from. These fruit trees grow faster and bear more fruits than ordinary fruit trees because the new technology applied in fruit trees propagation. Now you have to choosing appropriate trees to plant. This is very important. Save seed from good and healthy fruit. Grow seeds in containers or seedling beds. After a few months or a minimum of 3 months, when root system already intact, seedlings become ready for transplanting purposes. 2. Plant trees that are indigenous to the place or locality. This allows easy adaptation and ensures desirable growth. 3. Must possess significant characteristics. A. For tree farming, trees should have fast-growing, resistant to pests and diseases, deeply rooted, green during the months, resistant to strong wind, and commercial and economic value. B. For reforestation of hills and mountains, suitable trees have deeply rooted and have intensive root system like Nara, Acacia, Apitong, and Yakal. Heavy foliage, resistant of strong winds, and no complete defoliation or falling off of leaves. C. For city or urban planting, the tree should be tolerant to city dust, able to withstand the rages of troubles and initial planting, resistant to smoke, gases, and other pollution. And we have also here the health and safety measures to observe in handling fertilizers and other chemicals. One, be very of specific hazard like presence of unpleasant odor or fumes of fertilizers, whether organic or inorganic. Fertilizer dust and toxic chemicals contain content from pesticide, insecticide, and herbicide, etc. 2. Wear proper personal protective equipment or PPE. Knowing specific hazard will help you to identify and determine the right equipment to wear or use. Then we have personal protective equipment includes safety shoes, you have the gloves, you have the mask and goggles. 3. Thoroughly clean all tools and equipment used in the formulation and handling of fertilizer and pesticide. 4. Workplace should always be clean and kept safe to maintain hygiene and safety of workers. So now you are all set. Wow, you're ready to go. Prepare your activity notebook. Let's have your activity. So look closely on the picture. Identify the different ways of applying fertilizer to crops as illustrated by the picture. Write your answer on your answer sheet. So here, number 1 and 2. What type of applying fertilizer is this? Okay, you're done writing your answer, kids? Okay, for number 1, that is foliar application. Number 2 is side dressing. Okay, let's have 3 and 4. Okay, observe the farmer. So for number 3, it is broadcasting. And number 4, you have the band or localize. So let's proceed with activity 2. Fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks with the correct answers and write them on your answer sheet. So number 1, it is done by transplanting seedlings from one seed box to another to provide more space for proper development. What do you call that? The answer? It's pricking. Number 2, it is prepared on paper showing how your fruit tree seedlings are to be laid out on the orchard garden. Okay. What do you call this? This is correct, a blueprint or a diagram. 3, it is the time of a day when planting is ideal, meaning the best time of a day for planting. Answer? Late afternoon. Number 4, it is the way of planting where the seed of the plant or part of the plant is planted directly into the soil. This is the way what? This is direct planting. Then number 5, it is the type of gardening that utilizes organic compost for fertilizer. What type of gardening is this? That utilizes organic compost. This is, you call, organic gardening. Very good. So, there you have it. Okay, it's time to climb. Let's have your assessment. Okay, first, test 1. Read each item carefully, then write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. Okay, one, following the following are elements or factors to observe in planting trees except one. Which one is this? A. Choose the best place for planting. B. Choose the seeds that best suit the season and the soil. C. Prepare the seedlings before transplanting. Or D. Put sufficient fertilizer to the soil. So which of the following is not the element or factors to be observed in planting trees? Your answer is D. 2. Which of the following method of transplanting is appropriate for plants with small roots? A. Coin-shaped method. B. Stick method. D. Dibbling method. Or D. Side of the hole method. So what method is being referred to statement 2? This is a dibbling method. 3. It is a process of tilling or loosening the soil around the seedlings. Oh, this is a process so that it can absorb or the soil absorb water and fertilizers easily. We need this process. This is cultivating. Then let's have number 4. Fertilizers are enriched materials applied to plants and trees to increase productivity. Which of the following is a no benefit when using organic fertilizer? You have to determine the no benefit when using organic fertilizer. A. It fertilizes the soil and improves its structure and fertility. B. It is safe to use. C. It is environment friendly. Or D. It should never be used more than the amount recommended. Okay, it's a no benefit when using organic fertilizer. So your answer is, okay, D, because that is for inorganic. 5. Planting, just like cooking, requires a systematic way of doing things. This is because following a step-by-step process will allow one to be able to A. Select suitable soil for planting. B. Plant the right seedlings. C. Use the proper tools for planting. Or D. All of the mentioned or all of the above mentioned. Answer? Definitely all of the above. Test 2. This is matching time. So match the description in column A with the words in column B. Then write the letter of the correct answer on your answer sheet. So column A and column B. Match this time, matching type. Okay, number 1. Planting of seeds directly to the soil. Okay, what is being described in statement 1? You have to choose from column B. Is it side dressing, direct planting, indirect planting, cultivating, planting, or fertilizer? Then number 2, applying fertilizer on the soil going around the plant. Number 3, the process of tilling or loosening the soil. Number 4, the seedlings needed to be transferred to its permanent place. And number 5, enriching materials used on land to increase productivity. So let's check. For number 1, the answer is direct planting, B. Number 2, it is A, side dressing. Number 3, D, cultivating. Number 4, C, indirect planting. And number 5, you have F, fertilizer. Good job, kids. So you're done. I hope you've learned a lot. It's giveaway time. Yes, I'm going to give you your additional activity. For your additional activity is you are going to elaborate. So answer the question sensibly in your own words. What you've learned, you're going to answer it there. Write your answer on your answer sheets, and you know already that you are going to turn in our Google Classroom. So you have there 5 questions for you to answer sensibly in your own words. As much as you can, what you have learned in our lesson. And you have here is say rubrics as basis of your ratings. Okay, there you have it. We're done, kids. So thank you so much, and until next time, bye.